found something so precious.
Hi, welcome back to I Say Gospel Vibes with Sam and
Lexi.
So this week we are diving into how we can be instruments in God's work. I mean, when we feel unqualified or even weak. Have you ever wondered, like, am I good enough for what God has planned for me? Like, have you?
Sometimes I do.
I mean, if you have, because I have, stay, because this conversation is for you.
We have designed 2 themes for you this week. The first theme is letting God use us as instruments in this modern time. The second theme is letting God change our inadequacies into strengths. So let's dive into it.
Right. So for our first point, God chooses you. He doesn't need your worldly qualifications. I mean, let's start with Joseph Smith. He was just 14 years old, very confused, and didn't know, uncertain about his abilities. I mean, looking at your 14-year-old self, what were you doing?
Just going to and from school. Yep. And watching telenovela.
Exactly. Me, that was the only thing my mind was all, concentrated on. I was just telling me about Grachi and Carousel.
Thank you very much.
Yes. So, but when he prayed to God and read James 1:5, he was called. God called him to do one of the greatest works history has ever known, the restoration of the gospel.
The restoration.
Amazing, right?
Yeah. Joseph Smith could have said, God, I'm just a kid. Please call someone else. I know Samuela would have said. I know she would have said, God, please call someone else. I can't do this.
I wouldn't say that. No.
What would you have said?
Well, I would have been confused, not knowing what to do, what next to do, and I would definitely go back to him to ask for his guidance.
Are you sure?
Yes, because I wouldn't know what to do. I would definitely go and tell my parents. Yeah, I was going to tell my parents that,
then maybe I would have concluded that it was a dream or something, But then, okay, Joseph Smith, he didn't do any of that. He trusted in the Lord, and the Lord used his trust to help him. So when we trust God, he makes us efficient. Yes, he uses what we don't have. He takes what we don't have and he makes it great. So this reminds me of Doctrine and Covenants section 4 verse 3. It says that if ye have the desire, ye are called to the work. When we desire to do something great, something that God wants us to do, he makes us better. Look at Moses. Moses was a stammerer. I'm sure you know that.
Yeah.
And when God called him to lead the people of Israel, he told him, he said, God, I am a stammerer.
Yeah, he doubted.
But then God gave him a right-hand man, his brother, and he helped him. And look at what he did. He succeeded. He led the people.
And even in verse 5 of Doctrine and Covenants section 4, it says, and faith, hope, love, and charity with an eye single to the glory of God qualifies him for the work. So no matter your worldly qualifications,
you're qualified for God's work. Okay. I didn't hear mention of a degree or marriage or money. I didn't hear mention of any temporal things, any temporal qualifications. This tells us that when we are willing, God gives us the necessary qualifications. And God, remember that God does not call the perfect, He perfects the called. Let's engage in a quick challenge. Sammy, you're on.
Alright.
In which part of your life, which area of your life, is this school, work, relationships, where exactly have you felt weak or inadequate? Now ask yourself, how can I let God work through me in this area?
Okay, so we write it down and pray about it, and ask for God's guidance.
That you can tell us. You can answer the question.
Answer which question? Please answer in the comment section. Why?
Alright.
Oh my head. So Rome wasn't built in a day, so we should start from somewhere and see how we can use our weakness or something that we fall short in to, what do you call it? Work
to grow closer to God.
Exactly. So we'll start little by little. We want to know what you think and the progress in the comment section.
Take baby steps and try to improve.
Yeah. Okay, now let's talk about weaknesses. In EP 12:27, God says, "Come unto me and I will show you your weakness." I mean, why do you think God gives us weaknesses?
I think it's so we can rely on Him. And when we rely on Him, He'll be able to make us greater. Let's think about Joseph Smith, that 14-year-old, inexperienced and uneducated boy. I'm sure he didn't know what to do with his life. But then, because he relied on God, look at what he was able to achieve. The restoration of the gospel, organization of the church and everything. So yes, God gives us weaknesses so that we can become greater through Him.
That's so true. I mean, I used to struggle with studying when I came to the university because at home, you know, your parents will be there to like force you or monitor you to study, but here you have that freedom to choose, and with that power of agency, and together with the my spirituality, I feel like with God, I was able to improve. Yes, when it came to studying.
Yes. Very good. Yeah. So just keep in mind that weaknesses aren't roadblocks; they are stepping stones. Basing our actions on doctrinal principles really helps us to stay on the right path.
Yeah, so this week, remember that you don't need to be perfect for God to use you, right? We are extraordinary in our ways. So go out there and be a disciple of Jesus Christ.
And most importantly, be yourself. Alright? It has been a great discussion. Thank you for joining us this week. We hope to see you next week. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment. Okay? Goodbye.
We love you.
Adios.